Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As you can tell by the title, this is a devotional corner video. This is the second one that I've done, so let me know what you guys think about it, if you like it or not. But today I'm going to be talking about 1 Peter chapter 2, specifically verse 17. And this is something that I read recently. I was very struck by it, I guess, so I'm just going to read that for you real quick. Honor everyone, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the emperor. Before this verse, chapter 2 is really just talking about kind of like the differences between people who claim to be Christian and people who are not, and just the differences in the way that they should live and the way they should be characterized, and the differences in how their lives should look. And so verse 17 is in a section where it's talking about submitting to authority and what that looks like. So I'm just going to break down each one of those little short sentences, because it's just 4 short sentences made up of like 2 or 3 words each. So first, honor everyone. I was just struck by this because honor is in the first sentence and in the last sentence, kind of like bookends of this verse. But it starts with honor everyone. Everyone, despite what they look like, despite their status, despite their faith, despite anything, deserve honor and respect. Because we are created in God's image, because we are people, every single person deserves honor. The second part, love the brotherhood. The brotherhood is pertaining to the body of Christ. Loving the brotherhood, taking care of one another as the body of Christ, as we're instructed to do several times throughout the Bible. But just taking care of each other, loving one another in a brotherly and affectionate and Christ-like way, being aware of each other's needs, taking care of each other. And this goes just beyond honor. Everyone is worthy of honor. But when we are part of the church, it's a different kind of love within the church. Same way as, you feel a deeper love and a deeper connection to your family than you do just your neighbors or people that you know, right? It's not that anyone is better than anyone else. They all deserve honor and respect and all of that. But you love your family in a much deeper way than you love anybody else outside of your family. So we have honor everyone, love their brotherhood, fear God. Fear is only used when we're talking about God. And I always struggled with, this is one of these things that, like, as I'm growing up, I'm learning just phrases and vocabulary that is just in the church, and I grew up knowing and I grew up using, but I didn't actually understand. And I feel like I'm at a point in my life and in my faith where I'm like, what does that actually mean? And what does that actually look like? And I remember doing kind of like a deep dive on what fearing God actually means. Because when you're afraid of something, it's not a good thing, right? It's like you don't want to fear someone, because that usually means that they're not giving you love. They're not kind to you. It's not a reciprocal kind of relationship. It's a like totalitarian kind of relationship. And so I really struggled with that for a while, and I was like, what does that even mean? Why are we called to fear God? And it's not just said here in this chapter, but it's, again, all throughout the Bible, this idea of fearing God. And essentially what fearing God means is being in complete awe and like utmost respect for who God is. Just the realization of knowing that God has complete power and control to do whatever he wants to do. That if we were to see God, we couldn't even look at God, because he is that glorious. He is that much more above us. He is not something to be afraid of, but rather something to be revered, to be in awe of. We could spend our entire lives trying to seek after God and trying to understand him and trying to comprehend his greatness and his love and his mercy and his graciousness, and we won't even come close to what God actually is. We see him as a friend. We see him as like a father that loves us. We see him as someone who is just full of grace and mercy, and God is all of those things. All of those things, 100%. But God is also all powerful. He is just. He is worthy of all of our respect and all of our reverence. And the last one, like I said, is kind of like a bookend of the first sentence in the verse. Honor the emperor. Obviously, if you live in America, we don't have an emperor, but we have people that are put into authority, places of authority, whether it's the president, whether it's our mayor, principal, like all people in authority are allowed to be there because God let them be there. And so it is our job to be submissive to that authority, to honor them. And it's not to fear them. It's not to love them, like it says to fear God or to love the brotherhood, but it is to honor them just like we honor anybody else. And I think this is really important in this day and age where everything is so divisive, politically, everything. If the person that you voted for didn't win, it's almost like a rite of passage to just completely treat them as, to completely degrade them, to make fun of them at any given point for everything that they do, to pick apart everything, to call them names publicly and privately. And I think this is a good reminder for us to see that that is not how we should be treating other people. That's not a way for us to honor the emperor, so to speak. We are not called to honor the emperor as long as we voted for them, but rather honor them because they are created in God's image, and we are just called to honor them because they are people. That is going to wrap up today's devotional corner. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have a topic, it doesn't have to be a specific Bible verse, but any sort of topic that you would like me to touch on or share my thoughts. I am by no means a theological expert. I didn't go to seminary or anything, so if it is above my understanding or above what I can communicate, I will happily admit that, and I won't even bear that burden of trying to unpack something that I do not understand. However, if it's something that you have a question on, or something that you want to discuss or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. I would love to, whether it's just privately or if it's on YouTube. That would be so much fun. I love having these kind of conversations with Christians and non-Christians alike. I think it's super interesting and a really good way for us to grow and to learn each other's opinions and our thought process and all those kinds of things. So please hit me up if you're interested in that too. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so very much. Stay tuned. Again, like I said in the last devotional corner, I'm going to do these probably once a month. So stay tuned for the next one. And like always, I'll be posting every week regardless. If you are not already subscribed, please do so. I appreciate it so much. Share this video, whatever you want to do. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one. Bye. Is this not the cutest little thing? Oh, you're so sweet, girl. You're so sweet.